incorporating class objects. We have to know what is in a class and what is an object. A class is a structure that defines the data and the method to work on that data. It is a blueprint of an object. When you write a program in the Java language, all programs data is wrapped in a class. Whether it is a class you can write or a class you can use from the Java platform. Now we are going to discuss encapsulation. Encapsulation is nothing that it is one of the feature of object-oriented programming language. It can hide the data of an object. Object is considered as variables, a group of operations and data together into a new data type. Usually easier to use something than understand exactly how it is works. The real life example of encapsulation is school bag. School bag is one of the most real example of encapsulation. School bag can keep our books, pens, pencils, etc. It is a real-time example. It can hide the whatever things we have to store in the bag. It can hide the data. And example 2 is that when you log in into your mail accounts such as Gmail or email, Yahoo Mail, etc. These are the mails, right? There is a lot of internal process taking place in the backend code, and you have no control on it. Just we enter the mail ID and the password. Whatever the backend code running, we doesn't know the data will be hidden. It is an example of encapsulation. And next we are going to discuss that advantages of encapsulation. Advantages of encapsulation is whatever the data is protection. The data protection is availability in the encapsulation and flexibility. Whatever the code which is given in the encapsulated, it can more cleaner and flexible in the encapsulation program. And we can change the code read only or write only by getter or setter methods. We can and this is also helps in debugging the code if we need, and it also usable in the reusability of code. It can reusable. The code will be reusable in the encapsulation. These are the advantages of encapsulation. And coming to the disadvantages of encapsulation: code size, more instructions, and increased code execution. Coming to the code size, the length of the code increases in the case of encapsulation as we need to provide all the methods in the particular specifiers. For giving the more instructions, as the size of the code increases, therefore we need to add or additional some instructions for every method. While increasing the code execution, encapsulation results in an increasing in the duration of the program execution. It is because more instructions are added to the code, therefore they require more time to execute. If we add more code execution in the program, it takes more time to execution. These are the disadvantages of encapsulation. Encapsulation is nothing that it hiding the data. Whatever the data we have to hide, it can hide the data, and it contains protect method and private method. These two methods are merged in the encapsulation. Encapsulation is nothing that it can hide the data. Thank you.
Morning, ma'am. I am K. Mamta from Section B. Today I am going to explain about OOPS concept. OOPS, Object Oriented Programming System. We we know that every programming language will be either structure oriented programming and object oriented programming language. So here supports the object oriented programming concepts. So if it is object oriented classes, so everything will be implemented in terms of classes and objects. If it is structure oriented language program, everything will be implemented in terms of functions. So here concepts are there: class, objects, abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, polymerism. So what is class? Class is a plan or blueprint, a model for an object to be created. Here every class can have multiple objects, so that object to follow the blueprint of particular class. So we have class have so many objects. So I take an objects as for example, I take class name as movie. So in that I take director and hero, heroine, ayo, heroine. These are the objects for the class. And what is object? What is object means? An object is product which was created according to plan defined in class. Here with the help of object only we access the class. So now I am going to explain about a small program. How to prepare a class and object. A class is prepared by using the keyword class. An object is created by arranging the class name to a variable. Here I write class keyword and also class name. Next I take attributes x equals to 5, and I created object name, and object is name equals to uh, class name, class underscore name. Why? Because we have to call object by the class name only. That's why I written name equals to class underscore name. And now print object to variable. That now run the program. The output is 5.
Good morning to everyone. I'm E. Shivani. I'm pursuing BSc Data Science at Jagadirgutta College. Today I would like to explain about Python variables in Python. And before that, Python is a programming language and high-level language. High-level language is nothing but the user can understand easily. Variable. Variable is container which stores the data or value. There are three rules to declare variable in Python. First rule, it should not stand with numbers. Second rule, it should not stand with special keys like hashtag, at the rate, dollar. Third rule, it should not give space. Instead of space, we can use underscore. Now see some examples of these three rules. I'm using name with variable. Here I'm giving name, so we have to use strings. It shows syntax error because we used here variable. Now remove variable and see. we get an output Vani. It's correct. Now write other name. So we get print Mary. What we have to declare name equal to Mary. We get Mary. Thank you.
Like this. And third one is it should not contain space in number in name. So here I'm writing after rules. Here I'm writing name is equal to 15. Like this is the example of variable first. And second one is here I'm writing a name NEME space ME 15. Here it shows error. Why means here I explained that it should not contain any space, right? And third one is Divya 125 is equal to 135. Is this correct? Why means it does not started with number, right? And fourth example is here we can use underscore instead of special any space, like Monica MOU space NIKA Monica 175 is like these are the variable rules, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Morning, ma'am. I am Banu Divya, first year A section. Today I am going to explain about Python variable. Here variable means it's a container which stores the data. Here I am giving example. Here I forgot to wrote the stores, ma'am. Variable, it's a container which stores the data. Here I'm giving example. Here A is equal to 50. Here A is a container which storing the data, means a variable, a value. Here rules to declare a variable. So here rules, first rules means it should not start with a number. And second rule, it should not contain any special character like at the rate and dollar, etc. like this. And third one is
Friends, this is Madhavi. I am pursuing data science first year. Now I am going to explain about sorting techniques. Sorting is nothing but arranging the elements in ascending order or descending order in same data types. In this sorting we have 6 types, that is bubble sort, selection sort, insertion sort, merge sort, weak sort and heap sort. In these now I am going to explain about bubble sort.
take a list of elements, that is 58, 560, 566 and 290. Now I am arranging these elements into ascending order. Here we have to swap and compare. Now I am comparing first element with the second element. Here first element is greater than the second element, so here we have to swap. Now compare the second element with the third element. Does here swapping is required? Yes, because the second element is greater than the third element, so we have to swap. Now compare the third element with fourth element. Does here swapping is required? No, because the third element is smaller than the fourth element. So here no need to swapping. Just we have to compare 5, 16, 58, 566 and 290. Now compare the fourth element with the fifth element. Does here swapping is required? Yes, because the fourth element is greater than the fifth element. So here we have to swap 5, 16, 58, 290 and 56. Now these elements are in ascending order. So here these elements are in ascending order. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Ragini from Section D from TSWRDC Jagadgurutta. I am pursuing BSc Data Science along with coding. Today I am going to discuss about the CSS box model, which is very important and useful. The components of a box: margin, border, padding and content. Let us know what is a box model. All HTML element can be considered as boxes. In CSS, the term box model is used when talking about the design and layouts. You have to know about the box model. That box that wraps every HTML element. So the box element is going to wrap whatever the element that you are using in HTML program. HTML are using many tags, the body, image, everything. So that every image wrapped in the box model, it consists of margin, borders, padding and actual content. Here the actual box model is there: margin, border, padding and content. Here the explanation of the each word. Here the content of the box where text and images appears. Next move to the padding. Padding clears an area around the content. The padding is a transparent. And let's move to the border. A border that goes around the padding content. And finally margin. Margin means clear an area outside the border. The margin is also a transparent. The width and height of an element. In order to set the width and height of an element correctly in all the browsers, you need to know how the box model works. It is very important when we set the width and height properties of an element with CSS. You just set the width and height of a content. To calculate full size of an element, you must have add padding, borders and margins. Here the mathematical calculation is there. The total width of an element should be calculated like this. Total element width equals to width plus left padding plus right padding plus left border plus right border plus left margin and plus right margin. Here the total height of an element should be calculated like this. Here div tag. Why we are using div tag means whatever we are writing in a content that displays in the box. Here we are saying that width, we are giving the pixels in a width, border, padding. How much we require, that we can give for width, border, padding and margin. Here we have the middle we have the content, and upper is a margin and Below that margin is a border. After the border is a padding. Just it, it gives some space between. Here, if you want to get a space from left side margin, right side margin, and right side of a margin, top margin, here we give the assign some pixels. For start, for we, if we, I want to print my message in the content, we have to choose the height and width of the content. Then we can give the value of a pixels. So here padding should be there by using the padding left, padding right, padding top, padding bottom. Here padding is a transparent, just give a space between borders and content. It gives a space that padding. After we can print border top, border right, border top, and border bottom like this. The height of a content and width of a content we can modify our own wish. Let's see one program. Here I am writing the program regarding box model. Here I am opening the HTML and head and style. Here I am written that div tag. Why? Because here I want to give some properties to the background width and border. Here I gave the width is 300 pixels and border 15 pixels with solid green, and padding 50 pixels and margin 20 pixels. Here I want to close my style up to here margin only. Next, close the head and open the body tag. Whatever I want to get the output, like here I wrote the in h3 means heading 3, I wrote Ragini, and I want to give my information through paragraph sentence. So here I am gave the paragraph tag, and here I want to display the coding in a box model. So which I have already assigned that I given properties like background color and width border, that will goes to the only which I have written in a div tag. See the output. Here I get the Ragini. I'm pursuing BSc Data Science along with coding. Whatever I gave the div tag, that will print between the box model only. So this is the output, like this it will be coming. So thank you for giving this wonderful opportunity. Thanks a lot.
A pleasure. Good evening to all. I am DK Nisha. Today here I am going to discuss with you about a data types in Python. Yes, so I think you may be getting it out that we have a variable, by that we can work anything. Yes, so when you work on a project, it's very important to understand what data we are processing. Yes, so that's why here we are using the data types in Python. Now let us see what are the data types in Python. Yes, so in Python the data types are numeric, dictionary, boolean, set, sequence type. Yes, so these are the data types in Python. So first of all, here we are going to discuss about numeric. In this numeric data type we have three types of data types. Those are integer, floats, complex number. Yes, so first of all we are going to know about a strings. Okay, so here strings means group of or collection of letters is known as strings. Okay, so while we are writing a variable value string, we should mention the strings to the quotes. Okay, so here strings are can be declared as single quotes or double quotes or triple quotes. When we use single quotes means for our letters. Okay, so double quotes also we can use those words, and triple quotes we are using for the multiple of sentence. Yes, so now let us see about numeric data types. Yes, so here are the numeric data types, that integer data type, float data types, complex data types. So here integer data types means it is used to store the integer values. For example, 3, 2, 5, 35, 45, etc. etc. Okay. So how we can know this is an data type as integer? Let us see. So here our integer data type. Yes, so how we can know this is.
Good morning, madam. My name is D. Sankirtana, pursuing first MSDS A section from Jagadgirigutta. Now I am going to explain about how to declare an variable in Python and its rules. Variable. Variable is like a container and which stores the value or data. It can change its value. There are 3 rules to declare an variable in Python. Let's know it. Now, first rule is it should not start with numbers. And our second rule is it should not contain any special keys. Special keys like @ dollar, and etc. And third rule is it should not give any space. Instead of space, we can use underscore. Now, let's have some examples of these 3 rules. Now, see, variable, what we declare 1, 2, 3 is equals to Spandana. So, we cannot start with numbers, right? So, it shows an error. Let's correct it. Now, we write here name is equal to Spandana. Print. Let's see what we get. Yes, we got an output. Print name. What we declare the name? Name is equal to Spandana. We get the result. We used here name. Instead of a, we used @ So it should not get an output correctly. So let's correct it. Print name. Let's see. Yes, we get an output. Next, the third rule is it should not give space. So let's say an example. Yes, we have given a space between NA and MA. We given a space. Let's see what we will get. Yes, it shows an error. Let's correct the values. Yes, we removed the space. Yes, we got an output, right? And instead of space, we can use underscore, right? Let's see. Yes, we are using, instead of space, we are using underscore, right? Let's see what we will get. Yes, we got an output Spandana. So, it's a right syntax. So, by using these 3 rules, we will get an right in output.
Init double underscore self comma name comma age, and next self dot name equals to name and self dot age equals to age. Self dot name equals to name and self dot age equals to age is a variables. And next def display self means it is a method. And next print self dot name and print self dot age. I am creating a object equals to person. I am giving arguments Rani and 19. Rani is a name and 19 is a age. And object dot display and print object dot name, print object dot age. Output is Rani 19, Rani 19.
Good morning to everyone. I am Archana. I am pursuing BSc Data Science in Jagadgirigutta College. Today I would like to explain about Python, variables in Python And before that, Python is a programming language and it's a high level language. High level is nothing but the user can understand easily. Here in the Python, variables is a preserved location to store a value and change its value. So here there are some rules to declare variables in Python. Variable is nothing but container which stores the value and it changes its value. Here there are some rules. The first rule is it should not start with the numbers. Here I am going to give an example. "1a equals to Archana." Here I am giving name, so we have to take strings. Then print 1a. Here in the print, p should be small. So I am printing 1a. So here it's showing syntax, right? So the first rule is we should not start with the numbers. Here I'm starting with the numbers. That's why it's showing a syntax error. So we have to correct it. We can remove this number over here. So then print A. Then we will get an output. Yes, we will get an output. Print A equals to Archana. The first rule is satisfied. Next, move to the second rule. Second rule is it should not contain any special keys. So here I am giving an example. At the rate name equals to Archana. Here I am taking strings. The declaration should be very clear. Then print name.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Shweta, BSc Data Science from DSWRDC, Jagadgirugutta. Now I am explain about the encapsulation in OOPS concept. OOPS concept was introduced by Alan Kay in 1966 or 1967. In this OOPS concept, we have a four types: polymorphism, inheritance, encapsulation, and abstraction. In this concept, now I am explaining about the encapsulation. What is encapsulation? The process of binding data and corresponding methods together into a single unit is called encapsulation. Now the real-time examples for encapsulation. Example of encapsulation is a capsule. Capsule is a combination of medicine. If combination of medicines are variables and methods, then the capsule acts as a class and the process is called encapsulation. The another example of encapsulation is our school bag. School bag is one of the most real example for encapsulation. In the school bag, we can keep our books, pens, sketches, or etc. In this example, pens, books are the variables and methods, and the bag acts as a class. And the next one is our email. When we want to log in our account, such as Gmail, Yahoo, etc. When we enter the password for login, the mail was verify the password and given the access to our account. We do not have control over it that how the password has been verified. It keeps our account safe from being misused other.
The another example is bank account. If we have a account in the bank, they declare balance variable as a private for making our account safe, so that anyone cannot see our account balance. If anyone want to see our account balance, it asks the username, id and password for verifying. After that, it gives access to see our balance. Now, the advantages of encapsulation. The encapsulation code is more flexible. Encapsulation allows the modifying the code without breaking other code. It keeps the data and codes safe from the others. This is about encapsulation. Thank you.
Yes, let us see here invalid syntax. So, we should not use numbers in front of that. But we can use numbers in between them. Let us see one example. 27 number. Let us run it once. Do you think is it right? Yes, it is right. See, it is right. So it is clear that the first rule is we should not start with numbers, but the numbers should able to use in between them. Let us discuss about second rule. The second rule is it should not give any space. Let us see one example. We are giving space between NA and ME. Let us run it once. See, it is invalid syntax. So, we should not give any space in between them. But in starting, we can give space. Let us see one example. Space let us run it once. See, it is right. So, it is clear that the second rule is we should not give any space in between them, but we can give space in front of them. Okay.
When we are declaring a variable. Next, second rule is it should not contain any special keys. If we take a variable like name at the rate 1 2 that equal to Rakshita, then print name at the rate 1 2, it shows an error because there is a rule to doesn't use any special keys when we are declaring a variable, but we are used here, that's why it shows an error. If you remove at the rate over here, then then our output is Rakshita. And finally, our third and fourth rule is it should not give space. Instead of space, we can use underscore. Here, fruit space name equal to apple, print fruit space name, then it shows an error because we are declared a variable using a space. Instead of space, we can use underscore. If I remove space and use underscore, Then print fruit underscore name. Our output is apple. Doesn't shows an error because we are applied the rules. I hope you guys. Good evening, madams. I am Rakshita from MSDS first year A section. Now I am going to explain about Python and its rules to declare a variable. Let us see what is Python. Python is a programming language which is high level language. High level language is nothing but users can understand the language. That's why it is also called as user understandable language. It is simple and easy to write a code because of its syntax. Syntax is like our English. Now let's move to the rules to declare a variable. In that, first one is it should not start with numbers. And second, it should not contain any special keys. And third one is it should not take space. And instead of space, we can use underscore. Now let's see an example for first rule. It should not start with numbers. If we take a variable like one name equal to Rakshita, then print one name, it shows an error because there is a rule we should not start with numbers, but we have started with numbers. That's why it shows an error. If we remove one over here, then our output is Rakshita. That's why we should not start with numbers when we are declaring a variable. Next, second rule is it should not contain any.
And also object is also consist of data and functions. Here what is the difference between class and encapsulation? Means class is going to be encapsulated. Here class is going to be here we already discussed that encapsulation means here we took an example of a capsule like a medical capsule. In medical capsule the drug is always safe inside. So in the same way through encapsulation the methods and variables are also safe and very hidden in a class. And what it is, encapsulation is also known as information hiding concept. Information hiding concept. The data is not accessible to the outside world because we don't want exactly what is present in the class. And also those functions which are wrapped in the class can access it. For example, I took a data like this is a data which is a particularly, and like I took methods like method 1, 2, 3 and 4. This is the data and these are the 4 methods, and this is class which is bounded is called class. The data can access by 4 methods I took. So 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 methods. Outside the class. Hi everyone, I'm CH Rajalakshmi pursuing BSc Data Science second year from section 8. My topic is about encapsulation. Encapsulation. It is one of the features of OOPS, Object-Oriented Programming System. The name encapsulation itself saying that encapsulation means we are going to hide or cover something. We are encapsulating the data. Here we can see that the class is encapsulated by methods and variables. For example, we can say that medical capsule where the drug is always safe inside the capsule. In the same way, through encapsulation, the methods and variables of the class are very well hidden and they are very safe. Encapsulation definition. What is encapsulation definition? The wrapping up of data and functions into a single unit is known as encapsulation. The wrapping up of a data means combining of methods and variables in a single unit. The definition is the wrapping up of a data and functions into a single unit. What is wrapping up of data? Means this means combining of variables and methods in a single unit. This is known as encapsulation. Here the class consists of data and functions. They have no chance to use this data. This data is only accessible to 1, 2, 3 and 4. And the data is hidden inside the class. This data is not accessible to the outside methods or words. Here only those functions which are wrapped in the class can access it. For security purpose, we use this method called encapsulation. This method encapsulation is used for security purpose. Thank you everyone.
Now the third rule is we should not give any special keys. Let it see with an example. Let us run it once, whether it is right or wrong. See here, it is also wrong. So it is clear that we should not use any special keys. And the fourth rule is we should not use spaces, but instead of spaces we can use underscore. Yes, let us know it by using an example. I am giving first underscore at starting. Let us run it once, whether it is right or wrong we can see. Yes, it is right. And then I give underscore in between. See whether it is right or wrong. Do you think it is right? Yes, it is right. So, hope all of you understand. Thank you for giving this opportunity. Thank you so much. Thank you. A fabulous good evening to respected Principal Madam and my dear staff. Myself, I am Amin Kumari from Data Science First Year A section. Today I am going to explain about variables and its rules. Variable, it is a container which stores the data and it has some rules. Let us discuss what are the rules it has. The first rule is it should not start with numbers. Let us see one example. We use the number 27. Do you think is it right? Let us see once. Yes, Let us see here invalid syntax. So we should not use numbers in front of that. But we can use numbers in between them. Let us see one example. "27 number. Let us run it once. Do you think is it right? Yes, it is right. See, it is right. So it is clear that the first rule is we should not start with numbers, but the numbers should able to use in between them. Let us discuss about second rule. The second rule is it should not give any space. Let us see one example. We are giving space between NA and ME. Let us run it once. See, it is invalid syntax. So we should not give any space in between them. But in starting we can give space. Let us see one example. Space let us run it once. See, it is right. So it is clear that the second rule is we should not give any space in between them, but we can give space in front of them. Okay,